Hi guys, this is Project Life week 13 and I am super stoked to be back on the Feed Your Craft team for another term. So this week I am using the brand new high and low kit from Brandy Kincaid and Feed Your Craft. This kit is released today, so I will leave the link for you down below to make sure you go and grab one for yourself. These things always sell out super quick, so don't miss out there. And it is such an appropriate kit for the week that I had. There was, as you can see here, some tremendous highs and some very low lows. So this kit here is perfect for documenting those sort of not so great and great moments. And the other thing I love about it is it's just full of plants, and I'm totally not a plant person. I try really hard. The photo down the bottom right corner there is a new plant, which I had to get because I killed the last one that was in that pot. So I'm definitely no expert on plants, but I do love them a lot. So this kit has some really, really beautiful digital printables that have got a whole bunch of plants in there. And as you can see from the stamp set there's some really great stamps with plants on it too. So I've started out by just laying out my cards, and the only thing that I've really done is I split the 4x6 card that said high and low into two 3x4 cards because I really wanted to use that pink card for my plant photo. The photo fit perfectly on there, but I really did want to use the high and low card as well because I had these two selfies. They're part of my 31 minutes for 31 days project, but they perfectly illustrated the highs and lows of the week. So they went so well on that card, I had to use it. So I decided it was super easy just to split it into two 3x4 cards and just cut out the little line that was down the center of there, and it works perfectly on this spread. The other 3x4 card that I've used says it's all in how you look at it. Which I'm sure is supposed to refer to something much more deep and philosophical than what I've used it for, which is just Lily watching me eat my sushi, because she is addicted to sushi, and she's always sitting there while I eat my lunch with her little tongue sticking right out. So it was perfect for that, and I've just managed to squeeze that little photo on underneath without having to reprint it. Now all of these printables here come on a digital printable sheet, and I've just printed that out and I run it through my Silhouette to cut those out. I've got a video about how I do that, so I will link that up here for you, but otherwise you can see they're all real basic shapes, so it is totally easy to sit down and fussy cut those out with scissors. I just like to cheat because, you know, I'm all about doing things as fast as possible. Now I want to do a bunch of stamping on here, so I am just picking out some of the stamps that I'm going to use, and I do make a tiny mistake here because I stick the stamp down onto the photo and it sticks pretty good, so I do manage to peel it up without peeling off the photo printing, but otherwise I am just pulling out the stamps that I want to use and placing them roughly where they're going to go so that I can make sure I remember to use them, because otherwise I get a bit crazy like sticking down these printables and I forget about all the gorgeous stamps that there are to use. When I pulled out the kit, the colours in here were so pretty. I knew I had the perfect alphas to use, so I've grabbed out a couple of different rose gold alphas here. I think these ones are from Rosie Studios. I've had them for a really long time, but they're really beautiful, so I'm just going to spell out week. They don't have numbers, so I had to come up with an alternative option for my actual week number, but I'm using that alpha placement guide ruler thing, is that what they're called, to place week in the middle, and I will say that was super handy, as well as getting it straight. It's got that sort of center mark in it, which did really help for trying to get this in the middle of the card. I would never have got that without that there. And then these are some little foam thickers from Pink Paisley, and it's not exactly the same color of rose gold, but it goes really nicely with that pink card. There's lots of little pink tones on this spread, which was why I picked out these alphas, because I just wanted to add a little bit of sparkle and shine to this page. And you can see here it's got just a really nice pink tinge that goes with the pink and the aqua that I've used on this spread. Now, I did get smart with these little foam letters, and I'm using my tweezers rather awkwardly, I will say. I still haven't quite got a hold of how to use these. They're like reverse tweezers properly. I'm just not coordinated enough, guys. It's, you know, so that's why it looks so awkward when I use them. But eventually I get week 13 down, and then I can go back and add the label that I was going to add my date stamping on. I've changed my mind though, and I place it right at the bottom, so it kind of is like the center of that wreath, the leafy wreath on that card. And then I'm just gonna date stamp it and add my little heart in the middle like normal, and call that my title card. Couldn't quite get all of the date stamp on here, so I do this all the time. You'll see that all the time. I'm just using the clear acetate backing piece from the stamp set as a mask for when I'm doing my stamping, to make sure I don't get little inky marks all over the rest of my card, because I never clean my stamps, especially my roller stamp. I never clean my roller stamp, so it is a little bit tricky to make sure I don't get that everywhere. Now this stamp here says, "I'll wait here," and that's Lily all tuck it out on a blanket on our couch. And I'm lucky I tested it actually. I went to do a test stamp, and it did need to be seasoned with that eraser that I do. Since I've learned that trick, I just can't not. I mean, you can see the difference there. Even from here, you can see the difference. But the trouble is what I did is I inked it up too much, and the ink ran into the little gaps for the letters, and so I couldn't, that's why I'm stamping it a million times off to this test side here, because I couldn't quite get it clean enough to do a new stamping. So I did actually go and stop filming and went and rinsed it under the tap to get all the ink out of there, dried it off, and then came back and stamped it perfectly on my photo there. These little cards, I'm not doing any journaling this week. You can imagine why. I don't want to go over this again. I've documented this week and the things that have happened in plenty of different places. This is literally, I'm just adding these photos in as a bookmark for my Project Life project, but the actual written stories of these are elsewhere, so I'm okay with that. But I'm just going to add a tiny bit of stamping on there. One says thriving, one says surviving, which is exactly how it felt. That's what I mean about this kit being perfect for that. It also adds a little bit of color to those black and white cards, and then that's it. That's where I'm leaving those stories, and I'm moving on to more positive things. This little tag that I've added in here, printable tag, it had a place for the date planted, and I figured I would add the date because if I kill this one, then at least I'll know how long I managed to keep it alive for. And then underneath that it says help it grow, and like I said, I'm no plant expert, so definitely didn't have any sort of like plant growing advice to myself to add into there, so instead I used one of the stamps from the stamp set. It's there's 5 little plants on that stamp, and I just partially inked it up so that only 3 of those little plants were showing, and then stamped that into place, because that's probably as good advice as I'm going to get. When one goes down, I'm just going to keep planting another one, and hopefully one of them will grow eventually. This time I have actually learned my lesson, and I put it somewhere a little bit sunnier, and I will make sure to remember to water it this time. That was very sad that I killed that first plant, because that was the first plant I'd had in this house. I'd finally decided to go and get a plant. Like I said, I'm not a plant person really. I love them, but I just never had enough of them. So that was my first one, and I went in to look at it one day and it was crispy. I had forgotten to water it, and it was that dried up, it was crispy. So I promise I will not kill another plant like that again. I had pulled out this 3x4 card that says mood because I loved the mood on it, but I didn't have a space to use it as a 3x4 card. I decided what I would do with it instead is fussy cut it out to create like a little embellishment. And I probably could have done this using the printables. You do get printables of the cards, and I could have printed that out and then cut it on my silhouette, but at this point it was easier just to try and trim it out with my scissors, although gosh, it's just so awkward watching me try to trim these things out. It's not even that complicated. I don't know how people who fussy cut intricate little things do it. I just do not have the patience for it. So it's a really rough cutout, but it works perfectly on my photo. It was this really rainy, yucky kind of day, but I was inside, I was cozy, I had my coffee, and I just like the word mood for it. I was feeling moody, that's for sure. I'm just layering that out with a couple of the other die cuts, just one of those labels, just to add a third one. I've got one down the bottom of my sushi photo, and I just wanted a third one up there, and then another of the little word strips, and then that is this week's page all done. I don't know about you, but I am super loving this kit, and you're gonna see another video using it at the end of this week, because I can't stop with it. So make sure you head over to the shop and grab one for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye guys.